don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. My song. I'd love to sing a song for all the children. They are our future. Can you see? Take a little time out for the baby and teach them about love, hope, and prosperity. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. Good evening, good evening. This is Point of View, and I am your host, Shirley Pope, right here in Dallas, Texas today. And I am going to put our #1 theme song on, so let me get to it. That's the Polk Sisters and Company coming back in. And here is Where Are We Now? In this day and time, we just wonder sometimes, where are we with all that's going on, everything that's happening? Where are we now? How do you know which way to go when you don't know where you're coming from? How do you know what to say when you don't know what's been said before? They say we've got a long way to go. But can you tell me? Can you All right. I know you enjoyed that song, and I am going to turn the camera on now. As soon as I can get this adjustment made here. We have a topic today, what to do when people try to bring you down. And oh, here it says when people bring you down, but hey, I say when people try to bring you down, don't allow anybody to try to bring you down, okay? They can try, but don't let them succeed, because some people are only happy when they feel superior to other people. So please don't let people bring you down. They can try, but please don't let them succeed. And I need to get my lighting right here. There we go. There we go. I like that. I know one side is a little darker, but that's okay. I don't have the lighting directly in front of me, so I do these things and I do my own thing, and for that I am grateful. You can see my face, okay? Now, let me go into what we're talking about today. A quick guide to staying strong when people try to bring you down. A quick guide to staying strong when people try to bring you down. And this is by projectinspired.com, the website, projectinspired.com. And we know in our lives we run across people, and sometimes we don't recognize it at the time. But then later on, we think about what they said or what they did, how they acted or reacted toward us and to us, and then we think about it and we say, that wasn't too good. I don't know about that. So we're going to talk about a quick guide to staying strong when people try to bring you down. This is our first one, okay? And the website is projectinspired.com. Are you surprised that I'm not in Life Hack right now? Oh, I will be back there, okay? Now, we go ahead and we started Mean People, and this is the language of the author, who is Nicole. It's written by Nicole, and it doesn't have a last name. Okay, and this is how she starts out. She said, mean people suck. Okay, and people use that word. I don't use it, okay? But this is the author's word, okay? And you know what it means, so okay, we got that established. Oftentimes, when we try to do something we're passionate about, there's always that one negative person that tries to bring us down. But check out these 5 productive tips to leave them by the wayside so you can take control and shine. Number 1, focus on the outcome. This is good. Focus on the outcome. When you get stuck in the moment and someone is criticizing you for not doing something right, think of the longer term goal of why you're doing what you're trying to do. For instance, and the author Nicole says, mine is working on this website. So when I get a comment saying that I'm being unchristian or something negative, I try not to let the comment affect me, because my ultimate goal is to inspire people. What's your goal? That's a period there. Inspire people. Her ultimate goal is to inspire people. And then she asks a question, what's your goal? Okay? Now, number 2, don't quit. We're talking about a quick guide to staying strong when people try to bring you down, okay? Number 2, don't quit. Adding on to the last tip, it's too easy to just throw up your hands and decide to stop doing what you love because someone tries to bring you down. If you quit, you're only letting the other person get the best of you, and you won't be living up to your fullest potential. Oh, and I do apologize for starting the webcast late today, but I will be finished at 4 or before. Okay, I was sitting here thinking that I'm having kind of a late lunch because I was not looking at the time. And I'm thinking I'm having a late lunch, maybe, not too, maybe like around 2 o'clock. And then I go to the other room and I look at my phone, and it is after 3. As a matter of fact, when I did look at it, it was 9 minutes after 3. And I thought, I just won't webcast live today, and then the thought came, yes, you go ahead and do a live webcast today, because there's so much that's out here that's to be relayed to people, and we never know when that one article or that one blog or that one presentation, that one webcast will help somebody and change their whole life around, including mine. Okay, now don't quit. And she added to the last tip, don't throw your hands up. Don't quit just because you've been criticized. You continue to do it. And she said, look at the long-term goal, not short-term. No, we can. It's good. You can listen to or hear people. Hear people. That means that you comprehend what they say. Okay, when it goes into your ears, you comprehend what they're saying, and then you weigh the issues. And if it can help you, let it help you. And if not, discard it or put it in a file for a later time, even if it's just to remind you of something crazy that somebody said to you about something that you are passionate about and that you have succeeded in. Okay, all right, now and then, if you didn't take the advice, if you thought it was bad at that time and you didn't take it, but you did put it in a file, then you might go back into that file and look at it, and then you say, oh, this could help me now. So there are different ways to look at it, but don't throw in the towel. Don't throw your hands up. Don't let anybody dissuade you from what you're passionate about, if it's right. Okay, now number 3, look at it from their point of view. And I almost said that, didn't I? Okay, you might be thinking, why would I want to do that when they're the one who's wrong? So often people waste their time criticizing you just because they have excess time on their hands. The reason could be that they don't understand your point of view. You hear that? The reason being that they might not understand your point of view, or you aren't communicating in the most effective way. Looking at it from their perspective gives you insight into how you can better your stance on a particular subject. Okay? Now, number 4, don't worry about conforming to the crowd. Now, didn't I just mention this for those of you who did not get in on the Greater Gospel Temple webcast yesterday? You need to go and look at the message that the Lord delivered through me yesterday. You need to see that. Don't worry about conforming to the crowd. Everyone wants to fit in and be liked. Okay, and that website is Greater Gospel Temple and Inspiration of God Ministries. And if you type in Greater Gospel Temple on Ustream, it should take you to that. Okay, now I'll go back. Don't worry about conforming to the crowd. Don't worry about conforming to the crowd. Now I'm going to do just a little adjustment here. Let's see here. I might be going the wrong way. I'm looking at something else. It should move for me just a bit. Okay. Everyone wants to fit in and be liked. But when someone steps up and speaks out of their beliefs, people are quick to attack and criticize because it's going against the grain. So don't be afraid of being the only one. Your courage in standing up for what you are passionate about will subconsciously allow others to do the same. You'll be a new role model. Man, I was just talking about this yesterday on the Greater Gospel Temple webcast. Don't let anybody dissuade you. Don't let anybody cause you to give up what you believe and change yourself just because they don't like who you are. Okay, I'm going to continue with this. Okay, now have some guts. Okay, so we understand what that means. You know, stick up for yourself, be brave. Okay, now this is number 5, and we're talking about this is a quick guide to staying strong when people try to bring you down. Okay, a quick guide. Okay, so now number 5, have some guts. It takes a fearless attitude to make things happen for yourself because life can be scary. So don't worry about the potential negative outcome because chances are it won't even happen. So what do? It helps you overcome mean-spirited people. And this site is projectinspired.com. Projectinspired.com. Now let me go to a 7-step approach for dealing with friends who drag you down. And then, I'm very careful about who I call my friend, because friend in the Bible, there is a scripture that says, a friend sticketh closer than a brother. Okay, look it up. A friend is sticketh closer than a brother. So a friend is someone that you can rely on. You don't have to worry about letting you down. So when they start letting you down and talking down to you, and trying to make you conform to their ways, and it's not a healthy relationship, then I don't consider that person a friend. Okay, now that's just how I am. But when I was doing that introvert, extrovert, ambivert thing, I am not hesitant about. I know exactly who I am, what my personality is, and everything, and I know why I am like I am now. I do not apologize for it. Okay, all right. A 7-step approach for dealing with friends who drag you down, and this is the site here is Keep Inspiring Me. Keep inspiring me. And let me see if I can find the author, the name. I don't see the name, but just go to that site, Keep Inspiring Me. And it's www. Keep Inspiring Me. It doesn't have a .com or a .org, so I guess you could try either one of them until you get it. Just type in Keep Inspiring Me and it should come up, okay? Now, making the decision. This is, I see the logo on here from West Coast University. Okay, making the decision to improve upon yourself and actually following through can be one of the most rewarding experiences in a lifetime. We could all stand to become a better person or better people. And I feel good when I have something on my mind that I want to do, and I set this up, and sometimes I make my list, and or mentally or a physical, list, write it or type it out or whatever, put it on my calendar, whatever. Every now and some, we say again, some people say and again, but anyway, I now and then I might not follow through at the time that I wanted to follow through, but I have really been working on myself, and by the grace of God, I am doing much, much better. So it was it last week? I think it was last week. Oh, yes, it was. There was something that I wanted to do. It had been on my mind for a while, and I said, I need to go ahead and get this done. I got it done. And I feel so much better because I did get it done, because it was important to me. Okay, it was important to me. So I did get that thing done that I wanted to do, and I feel better about it. And then there was another thing that was on my mind that I had been dealing with, and concerning one of the parishioners of Greater Gospel Temple, and God had led me, and if you've watched the webcast, you have probably heard me say that the Lord had told me, and you might say, well, why did he tell you so late? But we minister to people when we go visit them anyway. But he said they can't come to you, so you take take the church to them. They can't come to the church, so you take the church to them. And that's what I had been doing. And one of the parishioners I had, because I always like to call, I respect people, I respect their time, I respect their home, I respect everything that I'm supposed to respect. I don't barge in on people, not often. I try my best not to, unless I couldn't get them on the phone or through an email or however. And so it was so on my mind, because it had been a while since I'd been over there, probably 2.5 to 3 weeks, because I had been calling. And so I would call 2 or 3 times a day, and I said, but knowing a person, and then sometimes they don't answer the phone, but then eventually they will answer the phone. And I called, and the phone would ring and ring, and then it would go into enter your access code. I did this for 2 weeks trying to get somebody to answer that phone, and the person that did not, and you see I'm going into past tense now, okay, so you know I'm leading to something, did not live by herself. And so I said, well, maybe, eventually one or the other will answer the phone. No answer. So I had said to my daughter, and I hadn't spoken to my son about it, but I said, I have been calling and calling. I said, I cannot get her. Nobody's answering the phone. And so I said, well, I'm going to go over there, God willing. So I'll just go over there. And I had made up in my mind, I said, Lord, I want to go today, which was this past Saturday. That's when my brakes uh, went haywire on me, and my car was messing up on me on my way from Pleasant Grove. And so I said, I'm going over there. And I said, because it was dark. And my thing is, in the morning, while it's cool, get out and get things done that are necessary. Stay in the house during the hottest part of the day, and then go out in the evening when the sun starts settling in. So I said it was a little after 8 p.m. when I left, and I said, well, I'll go, and because I don't like to go to people's homes unannounced. That's one thing I don't like to do. Okay? And so I said, I'll go, and if they come to the door, somebody comes to the door, I'll just say, okay, I just came to check. You're okay. Make sure everything's okay. And I won't even go in. I'll just turn around and go back to where I came from. I got there, and comes comes to it that she's, which is a good thing. They've taken authority, and she is no longer in the house. And I'm so thankful to God that I did go over there, and I feel like it was a leading of the Lord. And now I know, I know what's happening. So, but it's a change in my life as well, because we have been close, very close, for like 22 years, I think. And this is family, and it's just a sudden, drastic change. But she is alive, and she's doing well, okay? But she's not here anymore, and it just, it has done something to me, okay? And so anyway, having a goal in mind, this is what I'm getting. When you have something in mind that you want to do, and you feel that urge that you need to do it, and you're passionate about it, you need to go ahead and do it. Nobody ever tried to stop me from it. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm telling you is, you have a passion, you have a goal, whatever it is. Don't let anybody bring you down or deter you from what your passion is, if it's right for people, okay? Now, let me go. Making a decision to improve upon yourself, and actually following through. Following through, that's what I'm talking about. Okay? Can be one of the most rewarding experiences of a lifetime. Or in a lifetime, we can all still uh, stand to become better people. All of us can. We can all stand to become better people. Now, if you're like the rest of us, at some point you felt unfulfilled and didn't, uh, or still don't, okay, feel like you're living up to your true potential. And since most people do not feel they have the power to change themselves, when you finally dig your own heels in enough to gain some momentum, do not be surprised if you meet resistance along the way. All right. Now, indeed, sometimes it feels like your entire social circle turns on you as you start seeing results. And it can be like that, okay? You have to make a change, and you have to do it for your good. And sometimes it takes us years to realize this, that, hey, this is not good for me. I need to do what I need to do for me. Then it's going to get into it, okay? I get so excited. I get so excited. Okay, now today, this is the author talking. Today, I want to talk about friends, more specifically, the friends who drag you down. Okay, let's get on with it. 3:52. How did I do that? I know I started late, so I only have like 8 minutes to complete this, so I'm going to go fast, okay? But this is Keep Inspiring. Oh, this is Keep Inspiring. Me. Okay, keepinspiring.me. All right. Now, friendship can be a double-edged sword. Hmm. Your friends enrich your life. They are the primary characters in the memories you play of your past, days and nights unfolding now, and your plans for the future. Unfortunately, friends are not always a positive influence for many different reasons. Here we go. If you're making positive changes in your life, for instance, and see, I'm saying positive when I say good, that means positive. When you're making positive changes in your life, for instance, you may still have friends who are stuck in the same rut that you used to be stuck in. So while we love these people, it's not always healthy for us to be around them. And it's important to know how to juggle that dynamic if you want to succeed. All right, so you want to succeed, so we know you want to know how to juggle that, okay? So while some friends might actually act hostile towards you, you, as your self improvements manifest. Most often, the negativity is subtle and performed subconsciously. Like, oh, that'll never work. 80% of all small businesses fail. You know how some people talk like that. Just one drink. You're no fun ever since you quit. Why do you work so hard? Stop taking things so seriously and just enjoy yourself. We've all heard these things, haven't we? Okay, now it's been said that we're creatures of habit. Yes, it has been said that we're creatures of habit. Well, we're also creatures of consistency. Hey, that's a good one. We're also creatures of consistency. And our subconscious urge to resist when a person doesn't act the way we expect them to. All right. Another common reason some people are so resistant to other people's successes that on a certain level, it reminds them of their shortcomings and missed opportunities. It's the other side of the coin that sees people take great joy in others' failures. This can manifest itself in jealousy, animosity, scorn, gossip, passive aggressive comments, verbal challenges, alienation, and outright sabotage. Been there. I didn't do it. It's been done to me more than once, okay? All right. The process of breaking free. Hey, here we go. The process of breaking free. So, how can you navigate this social minefield? It is possible, or is it possible, to salvage these friendships? And if not, how do you know it's time to let go? Good questions, okay? Now let's look at a simple 7-step process you can use to analyze these relationships when they start feeling like dead weight at your feet. So if you don't mind, I will go an hour, but I want to go okay and finish this. I want to finish this, and it's like 3:56 now, so I won't go past my hour. Okay, all right. And so it's just like if you're watching this in the archive, it really doesn't matter, just an hour. But if you're watching me live, will you just bear with me, please? Okay, thank you, because this is too important to just stop. Okay, now step one: recognizing friction. Recognizing friction. All right, now the first obvious step is recognizing when a relationship has become toxic. This can sometimes be a bit more of a challenge than one might think. That's for sure. Okay, first off, every friendship has its ups and downs, and sometimes we tend to ignore an increase in the downs, just passing it off as business as usual. It's one thing, however, to have your struggled moments, but when bickering and power plays become the norm, it's more than just being moody or needing a couple of days apart. And we have to recognize this. This is so important. Another reason it can be difficult is because the way your friends undermine you is not always obvious. Humans are emotional creatures who communicate in subtle ways, especially considering that we ourselves don't always understand our own motive. And that is so true. Aside from obvious sabotage or friends who bring you down because of their own self destructive behavior, just be sure to pay attention when a friend leaves you feeling negative more often than they leave you positive, okay? Even if it seems unintentional. Consider why and how they are making you feel the way they do. Simple thing to do. You have to watch this stuff. And then the next thing, ask yourself and recognize, okay, for yourself, is it becoming a cycle? Is this behavior becoming a cycle? Step 2, try to understand them. We don't want to just jump to the conclusion. So, he's every time he says something, he puts me down. Every time she says something, she's trying to go be negative on me and all of this. Okay, it said try to understand them. They deserve just a little bit of understanding, okay, if we possibly can. All right. And so do we, if we're that type of person. If we're putting people down, we have to watch ourselves too, okay? All right. All right. Upon determining that your friend is holding you back, the first temptation is often anger. After all, they are supposed to be your friend. How could they betray you by wanting anything but the best for you? But slow down for a second. Resist the temptation to get emotional or vengeful in return. You stand a far greater chance of preserving the friendship and maybe even coming to some new understandings of your own if you seek empathy instead. Okay? So try to understand what exactly is causing your friend's behavior. Are they really angry at you, or are they just feeling insecure? Are they trying to purposely hold you down or acting on a natural inclination to keep the friend they know and love? Seek trust or truth first. Seek truth first, okay? Never forget that. Seek truth first. It's also important to explore the possibility that you've actually been acting different due to the change in your life. You've actually, you have to realize this and ask yourself a question. Am I acting differently? Okay? So we have to realize that there is a possibility that we have actually been acting different due to the changes in your life and that, or in our lives, and that we maybe that's what's bugging your friend. As an example, I was reading about a study recently that discovered people who are making more money actually drive more aggressively, and that a person winning a basic board game rigged in their favor will act more aggressive and brash at the table. This was a big aha. I'm going to do that. Aha. Okay. Moment for me, as there are times in my own life when I've caught myself driving like more of a jerk when in a nicer vehicle. And I think about that so often. I have my car is good. It gets me to where I want to go, where I want to come back. I was blessed with that car. I am so thankful. I am so thankful for it. And but because your car might be an older model and things, and I have noticed this many times that people who have later model cars, and they might be more what they think is more of a how should I put that? Puts them in a different class. They drive just plumb aggressively sometimes. They zip around you and stuff, and just it's just like this is true. This is so true. That's what I'm saying. So let me go ahead so I can finish this. And so there was a big aha moment for me, as there are times when the, the person that's writing this is admitting that in my life, when I've caught myself driving more of a jerk than a nice when in a nicer vehicle. Okay, considering this, think about how you've been acting lately. Is there any chance the new positive changes in your life also have some more negative side effects on your behavior that is rubbing people the wrong way? Maybe it's you who needs to tighten it up a little. Hey, now see, I really like this because it gets both sides of it. It just doesn't lay the blame on the friends, okay, the other people, but it causes you to check yourself, look at yourself, and see, hey, am I the problem? Okay. Now, number 3, consider the benefits. I I want to go back to this. Sometimes people perceive you as being, I'll say, stuck up. I remember this lady, she's a sweet lady from Denison. And so we were going to a concert one night and she rode with me. And she just actually, she's the kind, if you know her, you know that she speaks her mind. And I won't say her name, but she is such a sweet lady. She's not in Denison anymore. She's with her daughter now. And I see her every now and then on Facebook, and I know that she's doing okay. But she got in the car with me, and we used to live in the same block. We used to live in the same block in Denison. So she got in the car and she said, "It, I have never forgotten this. I'm going to go ahead and say what she said. Sure, I thought you was stuck up, but you ain't stuck up, is you?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." So you never know what people are thinking. If you're not around people and people look at you and you keep yourself going, you're uh, keeping yourself together. I was keeping myself together and everything, and people don't know you because they have not been around you. They haven't had conversations with you, they haven't been in your company, and they might think you're stuck up and think you're better. But she just said it. And she did not mean any harm. I didn't take any offense to it, but it was good for me to know. Because if she was thinking that, other people could be thinking that too. And I never ever thought that I even acted that way or that people perceived me to be what we call stuck up. Can I do that? Stuck up. Okay? So she did. She said, "Sure, I thought you was stuck up. But you ain't stuck up, is you?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." So let me go ahead. So we have to watch ourselves. It's not always the other people. Okay? That's a reality check. Okay. Now, the unfortunate truth is that you may realize at this point that any value they did bring to your life has long since disappeared. Sometimes that's just the way life goes. Just as you're changing for the better, sometimes people change for the worse. Okay? Whatever the reason, if a person brings nothing of value to your life other than negativity, it might be time to let them go. Number 4, understand the negatives. After going through the positive benefits that this person brings into your life, it's time to get serious about the negatives. How detrimental is your friend's behavior and attitude towards your own life and push for self-actualization? Okay, this is a question. Let me reread this. How detrimental is your friend's behavior and attitude towards your own life and push for self-actualization? That's the question. Now, is it going to really affect your progress, or is it likely to just be a temporary growing pain that they'll get used to, just like they've always gotten used to the changes life brings? Okay, this step is a time to get serious about how serious a problem this really is. Okay, it's time to get serious about how serious this problem really is. Okay, now don't underestimate the value of your own self-esteem or the ability of others to cut the drive right out of you with a simple comment, though. Okay, don't ever underestimate it. Don't ever do that. On a similar vein, if you're trying to quit a destructive habit like drinking or doing drugs, you should know that old friends who still do those things and can't seem to step away from their demons are a particularly big risk to you. Okay, and you got use in here. Wow, you they're a big risk to you. So that means that's why they tell you have to change your. It's best really to change your environment and change the company, the negative company that you keep. You have to, get rid of all of that. Okay, step 5, seek balance. And let me look on here and see how long I've been going. I've been going 43 minutes and 10 seconds now. Okay, now before seek balance, okay? Before completely cutting people out of your life and burning the bridges, contemplate how you can achieve a more balanced approach first. We have all types of people in our lives that we may not get along with 100% of the time. Bosses and co-workers, brothers and sisters, in-laws, even our own parents. Yet we usually find ways to still live with, work with, and even love these people. Yes, and they find ways to do the same for us, love us in spite of, okay? Now, considering that, is it really necessary to completely throw a friendship out the door, or can you just redefine it somehow? So we're going to see about that. So maybe you just want WN apostrophe T, be the type of friends you spend a great deal of time together anymore, or who spend a great time. The time that you spend together might change, okay? Now, it doesn't mean you can't still stay in touch. You should always have complete control over how involved someone is in your life, and there's nothing wrong with holding someone at more of a distance while still staying in touch, as long as you're not just doing it to play games. That's very important. Okay, also sometimes a pause can be enough to spark needed changes. After some time apart, they may be more likely to accept the new you, just happy to still have you in their lives. In fact, in the honeymoon, quote unquote, period that old friendships always seem to go through upon reuniting, they may very well come to the conscious realization that even though you've changed, the new you is just a happier version of the old you. Even though you've changed, the new you is just a happier version of the old you. And they might have to realize that you might have to take a little time away, okay? And then when you come back together as friends, then, things are different. Step 6, take action and reassess. Okay, take action and reassess. Once you decide on how you're going to deal with the friendship that has become toxic, the next part of the toughest part. You actually have to follow through on it. We talked about following through. I think was there a quick guide, the first article. Okay, now remember this is an important fact though. Often, the most manipulative of our friends, the ones most likely to be resistant to us changing, are also the most charismatic. Okay? That means that when they get a whiff of what's going on, they might instantly change their behavior in response, and it can be a seductive ploy. Remember that. It could be a seductive ploy. There are so many things that this is bringing up that you should consider. So you have to be wise. Okay? Now, friendships can sometimes resemble emotionally abusive relationships, where as soon as the victim tries to pull away, the abuser changes their act only to slip right back into the old routine once the distance is closed again. Sometimes they do this on purpose, and sometimes they just have no control over their emotional behavior. And oh my goodness, wow. Keeping in mind what I mentioned about manipulators, it's ultimately up to you to decide whether their change of heart is a genuine effort or not. So you have to really be on your guard, okay? So if you've only decided to reposition your friendship or even have a discussion with the friend to see if you can make changes that way, this will also require some reassessment to see if it worked. You'll most likely be immediately aware if it doesn't, but just keep your eye on the situation, realizing that if things don't get better, you might have to pull the plug completely. And have you ever just been sitting, I know you have because you're human, just a few seconds ago in my, I don't know, I got a whiff in my conscious of some butter pecan ice cream from Brahms. That's what I just got a whiff of and a taste for. So let me go on. Brahms, I might be coming, God willing. Okay. Now, step 7, letting go. I just had to say that. Okay. I know I'm not saying it for naught because I know you've had feelings like that. Okay, and people do it all the time. But it was just so. I mean, it just came. It was like right up here, butterpecan. Okay, letting go. I mentioned a few times in this article about having a discussion, okay? But I don't want you to give the wrong impression. The person doesn't want us to get the wrong impression, okay? She doesn't want to give the wrong impression. Confrontation and criticism are often the worst ways you can deal with walking away from a relationship. Even if you decide your life is better off without a particularly poisonous relationship, does that decision really necessitate some type of awkward and confrontational breakup? In the vast majority of cases, I would say no. This isn't a romantic relationship here, and you have no obligations to each other. Friendships end all the time just by simply drifting away. And walking away from a friendship, when done right, should be barely noticed. If you've changed enough to be seriously considering a friendship breakup, then chances are your friendship is only held together by old habits and familiarity. If you let those go, you'll often find the friendship dissolving naturally. There's no reason you can't keep things civil. Who knows? Maybe someday down the road you'll reconnect as two different yet very familiar people. Okay, of course, now there will be cases where your decision meets with particularly desperate resistance, and you may have to be a little less tactful if the friend really is someone that needs to go. But well, that's just how life goes sometimes. Now you know what I'm thinking about. Oh gosh, Washington. Ron Washington of the Texas Rangers, but I think he's in California now. He said that's the way baseball go. Hey, that's the way life go. All right. Now the next one is the evolution of friendships. None of this is easy, and I don't want to pretend I have all the answers to the chaotic landscape of human relationships. In a perfect world, all of your friends will see the great things happening in your life and hop right on board. Not only happy to see you doing so well, but eager to follow down the same path. Follow down the same path, not jump in front of you and take over, okay? All right, let me go on back. Unfortunately, that's not how it usually works. Many people go through life without ever finding the strength to live up to their life ideals. And that means that evolving and the path to self-improvement is often a solitary, even lonely process. Don't let it get you down too much, though. Remember that every time one door closes, what is it? Tell me what it is. Another opens, okay? Now, as you become someone just a bit different, you'll meet some new people who bring exciting new possibilities into your life. Doesn't that sound good? Not only that, but you'll quickly find out who your true friends are. The ones that really will be there till the end, okay? You'll quickly find out who your true friends are. And your true friends are the ones that'll really be there to the end, okay? Now, it's a painful process, but sometimes well worth the effort. And don't be surprised if someday a relationship you once let go comes back around full circle as your old friend does a bit of growing up on their own. Oh my goodness, this is so good. This is keep it and keep inspiring.com. And I just went off the air, but I think it's probably, oh, it's still going. My phone just went off the air, but it's still recording. Okay. 214-943-9723. I am Shirley Polk right here today in Dallas, Texas. Oh, and don't forget, Saturday I will be in DeSoto, Texas. I will be speaking at the I will. I'll put it on there. I'll put it on there again, okay? But I know it's one of the Marriott chains, okay, and it'll be Saturday, and it's for a ministry which Sister Claudette Matthews is in, and she's a young lady that I've known ever since I've been here, and her mother and I are close. Her sister Cheryl and I are close. We're all close. I've known them ever since, and they've known me ever since I've been in Dallas. So Claudette is one of the members of this group, New Favor, New Vision, and then I put Renee Riles. I think it's Kathy, but it could be Kathy Renee Riles, and I think she's the president of it. So I will put that information on Facebook, and I will make the announcement here on Ustream again, and I will probably go ahead and put it on YouTube also. So God bless you. I love you. I thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, if you missed a part of today, you can always go back into the archive, okay? And they say that they last for 30 days. So go in there and watch the ones that I already have on there. And I want to tell you that I say this and I say it truthfully, that I love you and I appreciate you for your support, for watching and listening to me, because some days I don't do video, I do audio only. And most of the times, it's because I might have been running around and I didn't get to prepare myself just like I wanted to or whatever, which I'm mostly casual every time I do this. But still, when I started out, I was a little dressy, but it's a casual thing because, and the thing is that I really, really like relaying information, and I like to relay to people what I learn and the good things that I come across, because I'm all about positive thinking and high self-esteem. You can reach me at 214-943-9723. You can even write to me at snail mail if you want to, 3422 Cedardale Road, Dallas, Texas. Then you can reach me by email. That's the point of view one, and that is the number one, okay? The point of view one at yahoo.com. And you can go to my website, which is shirleympolick.org. You can leave a message on there. And I even have a Twitter. Oh, yes, Twitter. It's the symbol at @spoked on Twitter, and of course Facebook. So there are many avenues, okay, by which you can reach me, or through which you can reach me, okay? So enjoy your day. I love you so much. I am so thankful. It's 56 minutes and 37 seconds and counting. So look, I didn't take the whole hour. And the first song that you heard was Post Sisters and Company, and that song, I Love to Teach the Whole World Music, was written by a dear friend of mine. And he gave it to me, gave me the chords, taught me the chords and everything. Then I did the orchestration and everything. We went into the studio and we did it. And that was I'd like to teach the whole world music, or I'd love to teach the whole world music. I think I put I'd love to teach the whole world music on there. And then the second song was a song that I wrote many years ago when I was Superintendent Alexander, who was our pastor, St. Emmanuel. And Dennison asked me to chair and uh, get the heritage program, African American heritage program together. And so God gave that song to me back in the early 90s or late 80s. And so it is Where Are We Now? And I had the privilege of singing that song at a conference here in Dallas at Burn Churches, Coalition of Burn Churches. And Dr. Martin Luther King's son, Martin Luther King the third, was here for that conference, and he asked me for a copy of that song. And so he said he's going to take it with him and everything. So he has a copy of that song also. God bless you. I love you so much. Continue to pray for me, and I will continue to pray for you, okay? Until tomorrow, God willing, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really, really appreciate you.